गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
प्रथम पूजन गणराया
गजानना गजानना
गजानना गजानना
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
प्रथम प्रार्थना श्री गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
लंबोदरा गणराया
गजानना गजानना
मानस भजरे गुरुचरणं
मानस भजरे गुरुचरणं
मानस भजरे गुरुचरणं
मानस भजरे गुरुचरणं
दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं
दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं
दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं
दुस्तर भवसागर तरणं
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
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 साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
सत्य साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
सत्य साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणं
दुस्तर भव सागर तरणं
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा
मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम्
घनश्यामा सुंदरा बंसी धरा प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया
बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया।
बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया।
बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप
घनश्यामा सुंदरा।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
राधा हृदय निवासा हरे कृष्ण।
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 मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
पर्तीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
पर्तीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
घनश्यामा सुंदरा।
घनश्यामा सुंदरा।
बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया।
बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया।
तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया।
घनश्यामा सुंदरा।
घनश्यामा सुंदरा।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
देवकी तनया हे नंदलाला।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
दीन बांधवा द्वारकनाथा।
राधा हृदय निवासा हरे कृष्ण।
राधा हृदय निवासा हरे कृष्ण।
मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा।
पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
पर्तीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा।
ईश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा
घनश्यामा सुन्दरा
नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नर हरि रूपा नारायण नर हरि रूपा नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नमो नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नमो नारायण वैदेहि मोहन नारायण वैदेहि मोहन नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हन पारायण नारायण वेद पारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नर हरि रूपा नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नमो नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नमो नारायण वैदेहि मोहन नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण वेद पारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण वेद पारायण नारायण
मेरा के गिरधारी सूरदास के कृष्ण मुरारी मुरलीधर हे घनश्यामा
मुरलीधर हे घनश्यामा
मुरलीधर हे घनश्यामा
मुरलीधर हे घनश्यामा परतीश्वर साई श्यामा
परतीश्वर साई श्यामा
परतीश्वर साई श्यामा पति विहारी गिरिधारी श्यामा साई श्यामा गिरिधारी पति विहारी गिरिधारी पति विहारी महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायणा महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायणा नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायणा नटनागरा दुःखभञ्जना साई नारायणा करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायणा करुणाकरा अखिलेश्वरा साई नारायणा अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु साई नारायणा अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु साई नारायणा हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायणा हृदयेश्वरा परतीश्वरा साई नारायणा महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायणा ನಟನಾಗರ ದುಃಖಭಂಜನ ಸಾಯಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ. ಕರುಣಾಕರ ಅಖಿಲೇಶ್ವರ ಸಾಯಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ. अल्लाह तुम महावीर यीशु साई नारायण. हृदयेश्वर पर्तीश्वर साई नारायण. हृदयेश्वर पर्तीश्वर साई नारायण. महादेवा महेश्वरा साई नारायण. श्री राम राम रामेति रमे रामा रघुरामा रामा बाहर रामा
घट घट वासी
घट घट वासी रामा रामा रघु रामा रामा तुम हो आत्मा रामा रामा रघु रामा रामा तुम हो आत्मा रामा आत्मा रामानंद रामा आत्मा रामानंद रामा जय 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 रामा रामा जय 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 रामा
I offer my humble pranams to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, who we are all blessed to have in our midst today. We all eagerly look forward to this annual gathering here in London. I would like to extend a hearty welcome to the entourage who have travelled with Sadhguru, including postgraduate students from the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, and esteemed guests from Dubai and India. And of course, a warm welcome to all gathered here today and to all watching via the live stream broadcast all around the world. Sadhguru has been traveling since the 10th of March across Turkey, Greece, Italy, Croatia, Austria, Switzerland, France, and finally, he landed here in the UK yesterday. It has been a journey of spreading love and compassion and reminding everyone that we are all connected as human beings, and therefore, we must live in accordance to the ancient Indian idea of one world, one family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The Sri Madhusudan Sai Global Humanitarian Mission, spearheaded by Sadhguru, is tirelessly working day and night based on this philosophy in about 32 countries. We will now watch a video which will showcase glimpses of the humanitarian work which is going on across the key verticals of nutrition, education, healthcare, and various social initiatives. May we please have the video.
That ensures happy and harmonious living is the mission statement of the young humanitarian and visionary Sri Madhusudan Sai, who walks the footsteps of his master, Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the 21st century spiritual master and philosopher. been established in just the last 12 years, touching and transforming the lives of millions of individuals across 32 countries, with its epicenter at Sathya Sai Grama in the village of Muddinahalli, near Bangalore Airport in the South Indian state of Karnataka. Drawing its inspiration from Sri Sathya Sai Baba's message of love all, serve all, this mission aligns with the promise of the 2030 UN Agenda for Sustainable Development, leaving no one behind. Its charitable trust, the Prashanti Balamandira Trust, which is in consultative status with the Economic and Social Council since June 2023, has been officially registered on the National Stock Exchange's Social Stock Exchange as a social entity, not-for-profit organization. Nutrition, education, and healthcare are fundamental rights of every human being and every child, and it is the collective responsibility of the society to ensure that these basic needs are made accessible and available for all without any discrimination and absolutely free of cost, believes Sri Madhusudan Sai. Thus, it all began. Let no child go to school hungry ever is the motto of the Annapurna Morning Nutrition Program, which started in the year 2012. Today, healthy morning nutrition in the form of cooked breakfast or through the Sai Show multi-nutrient supplement is served to 9 million school-going children in 25 states and 4 union territories in India and 5 countries overseas. 678 million nutritious morning meals have been served as on date by India's largest morning nutrition program. Feed the World is yet another global nutrition movement that has served about 5 billion meals to needy homeless individuals in over 15 countries. In the field of education, this mission has established about 28 educational campuses in India and 2 campuses overseas to bestow values-based education completely free of cost to about 4,500 children from the rural strata of society from grade 6 right up till doctorate studies. The Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, which is the higher education wing, has established India's first free private rural medical college, Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, on the 25th of March 2023, and it was inaugurated by the Honourable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. With the vision, in the rural, of the rural and for the rural, the college has commenced with 50 students in September 2023, and it shall mould rural youth into capable and compassionate healthcare professionals to serve rural geographies. The university celebrated its second convocation on the 3rd of July 2023. Srimati Draupadi Murmu, the Honourable President of India, presided over the convocation and gave away gold medals to 17 students and conferred honorary doctorates to 5 eminent individuals. About 50% of these students are first-generation graduates, and about 66% hail from families that are below the poverty line. On the healthcare vertical, over 29,000 pediatric heart surgeries and CAP interventions have been done since inception in 2012 through 5 single specialty heart care hospitals in India, the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Centres for Child Heart Care at Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Maharashtra, Telangana and Karnataka, and 2 such hospitals in Fiji and Sri Lanka. It is the world's largest chain of pediatric cardiac hospitals without billing counters. Conducting research, academic and training programs in pediatric cardiology, nursing and allied healthcare services are other functions of these hospitals. 5 specialized Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Mother and Child Hospitals, 15 Sai Swasthya Primary Care Wellness Centers, Sri Sathya Sai Arogya Vahini Mobile Hospital Services, Aruike Multi-Specialty Hospitals in Nigeria, Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Medical Center at Clarksdale in the Mississippi state of USA, 2 multi-specialty hospitals, Sri Sathya Sai Sarla Memorial Hospital in Karnataka and Sai Arogya Multi-Specialty Hospital at Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh, are providing their services completely free of cost to the needy. Sri Sathya Sai Sarla Memorial Hospital adorns an additional feather to its cap for being the teaching hospital for India's first free private rural medical college Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research. 11 centers for human development have also been set up across 10 countries for conducting several service and spiritual activities. In the last 12 years, 200 million USD have been invested globally for these benevolent acts of goodness through which several lives are being illumined every single day. Sri Madhusudan Sai says, "In a society, it is always about the survival of the weakest and not survival of the fittest. We must develop this sensitivity towards the needs of the less privileged and must hold ourselves responsible for each other. Only then can we create an equitable society for the future generation. The onus is on each of us, for the inevitable truth is that every individual's prosperity depends on society's collective prosperity. After all, we are all one connected whole."
Here in the UK, Sadhguru established the Anugram Trust many years ago, which undertakes various service activities. In fact, it was one of the earliest foundations established by Sadhguru outside of India. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Grish Malhotra, Chairman of the Anugram Charitable Trust, to deliver his introductory and welcome remarks.
It's with some trepidation, but with a heart filled with love which is bursting at the seams, because Swami has brought all of us here together. I offer our collective humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest beloved Swami. Every one of us is here for a reason. We're gathered together because we are recognizing the unity that we have. The diversity of people that are just in this hall is amazing. People from all around the world, people who've traveled who perhaps have never come out of their own country, have come because of the message of our beloved Swami. The message, one world, one family, a simple tenet, but in that one sentence, it encompasses the perfect ethos that all of us must have as human beings. Human beings have the ability to discriminate. We don't work on instinct. We have the ability to discriminate. When we see another suffering or less fortunate than us, we can discriminate to assist or to ignore. Our beloved Swami has come to light that lamp that is already within us. When you see children, if they see something that is bad that's happening around them, if they see something that is unfair that's happening around them, they will always react in the correct way and try to make good that problem. What happened to all of us as we grow? What has happened to all of us? We have become desensitized to the other one. That sensitivity is to be regained. And this message of Swami, to see yourself in the other and to see the other in yourself, is the message that we all have within us already. He often says that it's not a place that you are going to change to and become. It is something that you already are. With the passage of time, what has happened to all of us is that we have become desensitized to all that is going on in the world. A majority of the problems in the world are caused because we recognize the differences. Why don't we recognize the similarities? Why don't we celebrate those similarities which is inherent in every single one of us? Nutrition, education, and healthcare, a basic birthright of every single human being. Is it a fault if somebody doesn't have the wherewithal, the finance, a child that doesn't have that? It's not their fault, they're born into that situation. But those that have can share. So although Anugraham, with the meaning of Anugraham is grace, and it is with Swami's grace that he's spreading this message of love around the world. We already are that, is one of the biggest messages that we must take away from this. These three verticals of education, healthcare, and nutrition are basic birthrights, are basic requirements for any human being. And as I said, there's no fault of their own that they should be in a different position to us. So those that can help can discriminate, can't we? We can discriminate to help, or we can ignore, as I said before. Swami has come here to make us realize that it is our duty. It's not actually something that you may feel. I'll use the word benevolent. That may describe what we're doing, perhaps to a degree, that we're being benevolent. But I think it is our social responsibility to those that can, they should. And we have to become instruments in his hand. This message is a unique model. If you go to any business place, it'll always be about how much profit we can make, how much we can succeed. And if you noticed in the film, the prosperity of every individual is reliant on the collective prosperity of the whole of society. Because whatever we have become is as a result of what is all around us. So if we only take and do not share, so being benevolent doesn't mean that you are giving. So although we are called a charity, and you may consider it to be charitable work that we do, in actual fact, we are only sharing. And the only reason we will share is if we can consider those that are less fortunate to be the same as us, to be part of our family. That is why you see this one world, one family. Swami's message is one of unity. Now, we can go from this beautiful setting in this divine presence, and make no mistake, we are in the presence of divinity. So we can leave here after this evening, enjoy the delicious food, take the message away, and say thank you very much. Or we can discriminate and we can choose to ask ourselves the question, what have we become? Has the effect of this teaching, do we reflect on the teaching that we have in front of us? And are we going to make any changes, or just simply agree with everything? You can love somebody, you can agree with a principle, but it's of no use if you don't put it into action. Swami has taken the bull by the horns. He has put, and he's a prime example, he's taking this message and he's showing us the way. He's putting that thought, that principle into action. That's why the film shows us just the beginning. Now you may say, oh, it's only in India. Yes, well, it started in India, but it is spreading globally. I believe that this message, with His grace, will spread to every single one of us. And every single one of us here has to be one of those messengers. Because that is inherent within us. That divinity within us, we have to see that divinity in the other. That's why when we do Namaste, we put our hands together. We are saluting and recognizing the divinity in the other when we do this action. I'm not going to say too much about Anugram Charitable Trust. We work as a whole team, of a collective of many people that do various things. It's not about how much work this charity does. We're part of a global foundation of charities of over 33 charities around the world, foundations around the world. And this will become the largest movement, the largest charitable movement globally. I thank you all for coming today. Please take away that message, even some reflection on the message that you saw in the film, on the discourse that we're going to hear as well. But taking it away has to be put into action. Otherwise, it's of no use. It's okay to love somebody, but if you don't express that love in some way and act on that, it's of no use. I've spoken generically. I would just like to say one thing. Swami is very, very dear and special property are these students that have come. And these are all ambassadors of his ethos, of his work. And if you take any cross-section of any one of them, I doff my hat to all of them. Swami has done such a wonderful job. Where can you have anywhere in the world a university for human excellence? Have you ever heard of that? No, I've not heard that until I've heard it from Swami. And these are excellent human beings, and I pray that they will go forward and take Swami's message forward. I've spoken to quite a few of them, and I have no doubt they are the lights that will spread Swami's message. So Swami, thank you so much. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
And now, on behalf of all of us gathered here, I pray that Sadhguru may bless us all with his divine message on what truly is an evening divine.
It is said by it's in there in Viveka Chudamani, the text written by Sri Adi Shankaracharya. I'm sure by now you must be familiar with him if you've been listening to my discourses. So Sri Adi Shankaracharya praises the great ones in a shloka. He says that, how are they? They are those who travel around, who move around the world just like the seasons change. The spring season brings cheer, blossoms, and a lot of beauty. Likewise, the great ones move around the world to bring joy to people, not for any other reason. They are like the boatmen who have already crossed the river, but they come back again and again to fetch more people and help them cross. So this is the way of the ones who work for the world, who work for others, and that is how Adi Shankaracharya praised them. He calls them Vasantavat Lokahitam Charantaha. Like the spring season, they go around the world bringing spring, the season of spring in people's lives. So as I was traveling around the whole of Europe, I saw that it's just beginning to blossom, and slowly the leaves and flowers are coming back after the winters. So it matches with my travel, and I remember this Adi Shankaracharya's shloka that he says that the great ones travel, the great ones move around. They don't sit in one place, not for their sake, but for the sake of the betterment of all, the whole society. So now I'm back in the UK. 1 year ago, when I was here, I was mentioning about we had to start the medical school and the Prime Minister was going to come, and I was here, and then we had to go back immediately and start and see. This is a year, 1 year has passed and the school began. The students are already studying, and so much has happened in this 1 year's time. And this is due to the help and support of several of you and the Anugraham Charitable Trust, which is one of the very crucial foundations in the UK, which helps this mission further itself. So I think I want to thank Dr. Girish Malhotra and the whole team, Romi, Deepak, the better halves, the truly better halves who are behind the scenes, but they are all supporting this, their children and everybody else, and all the devotees here in the UK and around the whole European countries who have been helping this mission. So I want to place on record this gratitude. It's not on my behalf. I don't need to say thank you to any one of you, I know it. But it is on behalf of those students who have joined these institutions and their dreams are coming true. And when I was there, I was talking to some of these medical students specifically, and one girl was telling that how her father is a cook in some school or somewhere, earns very little, her mother is paralyzed, and to put her through a coaching institute which is needed for her to clear the entrance exam, which is a national exam, the only piece of jewelry that the mother had was some gold ear studs, and that's what she sold to put her through the coaching. And now that little whatever girl is a part of the medical school. So there are plenty of such stories I heard. So I remember a year back when this was happening, we were here, and a year later so much more has happened, so many lives are being transformed. So that is truly the grace of God. Anugraham means grace. And when I say when Anugraham is there, no graha can do anything to you. Graha means planets, and Anugraha means grace of God. So once you have God, Anugraha, no Navagraha can affect you. No planets, no planetary positions, nothing can affect you, because God's grace is always protecting you. That is, yearn to receive that grace of God. It doesn't come just like that. It comes with sincere devotion. And the one who has devotion receives the grace of God. And devotion is to surrender and offer oneself to God. As we were driving, our Girish was telling, I don't know what to say, my mind is blank. I think the chairs were 1 centimeter this way or that way in the venue, and he wanted to perfect it. And I told, that's good, but now don't speak from the mind, speak from the heart. Good that your mind is blank. It needs to be blank. Speak from the heart. And that is what we are supposed to do. Speak from the heart, think from the heart, do from the heart. Everything that we have got to do, we should do it from the heart. And then we do it just like God. The good part of coming to the UK is that we don't need a translator for my discourse. I feel it's so spontaneous. Otherwise, after every sentence, I have to wait for the next one to finish. So I'm finding it difficult to speak because I got used to these gaps when traveling in Europe. But it's nice to speak continuously. You know. And I have with me so many guests who are traveling with me. They including, of course, the students, postgraduate students. This is a third batch of postgraduate students who have come here, and they're learning about world cultures, about devotees, about so many of you who have been a part of this wonderful mission. And all of you have, oh, that's fine, I think. Maybe the signal, I put the hand over there. See, connectivity. It covers and then no connectivity. But it is wonderful to come back here. Definitely it's more pleasant than the last time. Today is a good day, it's a good weather, and I'm sure it was not so inconvenient for you to travel such a distance to be here. So it's nice to find everybody back here. What do you want me to speak about? Any suggestions? Any topic? Whoever says it first gets it. Surrender, very well. Just now I told Girish, surrender, your sir should be under, that's what I told him when he was coming up. Sir ko under, feet ke under karo. So that is surrender. So sara thinking, whatever your head is there, that's the cause of all the trouble in the world. Munde matir binnaha, it says. Our minds are different, our heads are different. Head means the collection of all our thoughts, all our ideas, individuality, ego, memories, and all the analysis. That is what comes in our way. And that is what does not allow us to realize God. So in our scriptures, the only way to realize God is manonasha, they say, or manolaya. Let the mind merge in God. Let the mind get destroyed, they say. Destruction of the mind is not possible because we need the mind to work in the world too. But if the mind is connected to God, then it is very easy to work in the world. There's a beautiful Kathopanishad shloka which says, Yached vang manasi prajnyaha tad yached jnanatmani jnanatmani mahati niyached tad yached shantatmani. So stages of surrender. What is the first stage? The wise ones who understand that surrender is important, what do? They start with taking all the sense objects, merging them into the senses. In the sense, what they're trying to do, they're not being attached to things, they're not running behind things. The objects of the senses are not controlling the senses. Senses are able to choose. What do I want to speak? What do I want to see? What do I want to taste, touch, smell? So they have that ability. So that is the first step. Vang manasi prajnyaha. What he says, all that mind which is the master of the senses, that should be collected from outside and put it into the higher mind. It's called jnanatmani, the intelligence. So many people have mind, they are very full of thoughts, but are those intelligent thoughts, are they discriminating? So discrimination is the next step. Take the sense objects, put it into senses, take all the senses, let them merge in the mind. So mind should know what it is doing. Mindfully you should do everything, not mindlessly. But mind itself is not enough. You take it and put it into intelligence, is jnanatmani. What is intelligence? Discrimination is intelligence. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is not. What is spiritual, what is not. Unspiritual. So that way you discriminate, that is the next level of surrender. But that's not enough because each individual's intelligence may differ. Criminals are also extremely intelligent. But their intelligence is of no use because their discrimination is not pure. Their discrimination is not spiritual. So take that discrimination further and merge it into a universal intelligence, it says. Mahati atmani. Mahati means the big one, the great one. So take all your individual intelligence and merge it into a collective universal intelligence. Now what does that mean? It means you think from everybody's point of view, not just from your individual good, but think what is good for everyone, how the whole society would benefit from whatever you're thinking, or saying or doing. So that is the next level of surrender. The individual mind should merge into individual intelligence. Individual intelligence should go into collective intelligence, societal intelligence. And that also is not enough, it says. That should merge into a higher self called Shantatmani, where there is only peace. There is no thinking, discriminating, analyzing. Even that doesn't exist. It means you start working from your consciousness, your highest self, which knows everything. It doesn't need to analyze, think, prepare, plan, execute like how intelligence or mind or senses do. It simply knows. So if you're in continuous touch with that, then your divinity will take over. And it will express itself through every of your thought, word and action. So that is the final surrender. So you start with your senses, take them to the mind. Mind should be merged in your intelligence. Intelligence should be merged in collective intelligence, collective wisdom of the society. And that should be further merged into the consciousness. That is true surrender. This surrender also is surrender. Your wife says something, you simply nod your head. That's also kind of surrender. An important surrender. I think you should get married to learn some lessons in surrender to begin with. And eventually you should be able to surrender to the higher divine self. But surrender is a great, great virtue. In our scriptures it is very clear. See, it is the highest form of devotion. It starts with, as you say, Shravanam. You hear whatever about God's glory, you develop interest in God. Kirtanam, you sing the glory of God because you've heard it from others. Vishnoha Smaranam, even if you are not singing, internally you are all the time remembering God. Archanam, you have developed some rituals now, customs to pray to God. Vandanam, even without rituals, now you are able to sit and pray to God everywhere. Padasevanam, now you want to serve God in some way. It's not enough if you remember God. You want to do something for those whom you love. Then comes Dasyam. It's not serving once in a week, once in a month, once in a year. Dasyam, I want to be a regular servant of God all the time. Sakhyam, by being continuously with God as a servant, you almost become a friend of God. God is always around you because He knows you are there to serve Him. He'll always ask you, where are you, where are you? So slowly by being around God, you become His friend. And that is a beautiful relation, but that doesn't end. It says our ultimate ninth step of devotion is Atmanivedanam, which is surrender. You become like God. Not even like God, you become God, it says. You become God because you have merged your mind totally in God's mind. Whatever is going on in God's mind, it's like direct, you are seeing on the TV. I'm speaking here, but you're also seeing me on the TV without any delay. TV is not having a separate projection than what is happening here. Likewise, God's mind, which is consciousness, will express itself through the individual mind because of devotion. So Atmanivedanam, it starts like with Shravanam, that's true. You never knew about Satya Sai Baba, then you heard from somebody that there is a master like this in India, you heard, and then you became curious. You read a few books, you listened to a few discourses, and you got to know about it, the Shravanam. Then you learn the glory, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, you started remembering him all the time. Archanam, Vandanam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So Atmanivedanam is the surrender part of it, which is the highest devotion. And Sri Krishna says very beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, I hope you have heard Bhagavad Gita discourses. I'm very particular that everybody listens to Bhagavad Gita. And because that is the ultimate scripture, it covers all the topics that you can think of. It has answers to everything. So anyway, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. It says, I'm equal to all beings. I'm here for all. I have no special preferences, likes and dislikes, prejudices and preferences for anybody. I'm equal to all. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I'm equal to all. Name dveshosti. I have no hatred for somebody. Na priyaha. Not that somebody are favorable to me or favorite of mine. All are equal to me. But then why people experience differently? He says, Ye bhajantu tumam bhaktya. Those who truly worship me with devotion. What happens to them? Maite teshu chapyaham. He says, I am them and they are me. Means I become one with them. What do you mean by I am you and you are me? We have heard this many enough times. I and you are one. What does Krishna say? See, I am not giving special attention, special preferences to anybody. But those who worship me with complete devotion, the Atmanivedanam devotion, I am them and they are me. There is no difference between us because whatever is happening through them is actually I doing it because there is no obstruction, no restriction, no resistance. It just flows. God's energy, God's consciousness simply flows through all of them. Like if it's a good TV, it will exactly project whatever I'm doing here. Or if it's a good sound system or the mic, it will exactly relay whatever I'm saying here. It won't change the words, it won't change the tone, it won't change the quality of whatever I'm speaking. So that is the kind of a surrendered mind, which is the ultimate, that is the epitome of devotion. You cannot get better than that. That's why Sharanagati or Atmanivedan has become, it is the highest form of worship. All of the forms are also worship. They also will be happy. And it's not that Bhagavatam does not say that this comes one after the other. It simply says there are 9 kinds of devotion. You can pick any. But I understood that it is also a nice sequence or a nice evolutionary process. From listening to God, you never knew God existed, you heard, and all the way you go to become God. And this is only possible in Sanatana Dharma. See, no other Dharma preaches this. For everywhere else, it is blasphemy. If you say you are equal to God, you know what's going to happen next. But here, in Sanatana Dharma, it says you are God, not even equal to God. You are God. You are nothing but God. God means not a single being sitting up in the heaven, writing your accounts, whether you are doing good or bad, how much reward, how much punishment. That's not the idea of God in India. Idea of God in India is simply that awareness, consciousness, which animates us all, which energizes us all, which makes everything happen. And that consciousness is you, therefore you are God, it says. Prajnanam Brahma, that is the Upanishadic truth. So that idea of consciousness is what our scripture praises. So this merger which I mentioned, senses into the mind, mind into the intelligence, intelligence into universal intelligence, and that into ultimate consciousness is surrender. Because that consciousness is known as Brahman. That consciousness is our ultimate true reality. So this is the idea of surrender. But of course it begins with surrendering to my wife and then going all the way to God. You learn a lot of lessons. They say, no, when you're individual, you're on your own, no care. You don't have to listen to anybody and follow anything. But once you're married, you have to take care of each other, you have to listen to each other. You have to learn to let go of some of your individuality and ego. That's why family was considered as a very sacred institution. Because there you need to sacrifice for each other. You have to let go of some of your rigid ego and ideas for the sake of happiness of all. Are you not merging your lower intelligence to higher intelligence? I want this for myself, this is good for me. Yes, true, it is good for me, but is this good for the whole family is the question. May not be. Then I have to let go of it for the sake of everybody. And the whole family thinks, is it good for the society if we behave this way or live this way? If yes, yeah, okay, go ahead. If not, then don't do that. And the whole society thinks, is it good for the world? Is it good for everybody? All beings in the world, yes or no? Yes, then go ahead. No, don't go ahead. This is what you mean by continuously merging. Ultimately, you ask the question, is this what God would want from me? Would God be happy with me? And once you get that answer, yes, if I do this, God is going to be happy with me, then you have surrendered. And you are according to God's wish, you are living not according to your wish or somebody's wish. So this is how you grow. So all that we do in society, our individual relations, the family relations, the society relations, they're all steps towards that surrender only, in some way or the other. But highest surrender, as I mentioned, is surrender to the divine self, letting go of our individuality, the head, where you surrender under. Let go of that head and too much of I and mine and too much of individuality. That is the ultimate surrender. And I really love those who are totally surrendered because they are the easiest devotees. Because there's no difference. Maite deshu chapyaham. I am them, they are me. So I don't have to tell them what to do. They are exactly doing what I would want them to do or what God would want them to do. So there is no problem at all there. When there is individuality there, then it interferes. It like colors the whole, whatever thought God's thought is, God's consciousness is. It colors it, contaminates it, distorts it. And then what comes out as the outcome is not exactly the same as what the divinity wants. Like if this TV is faulty or the camera is faulty, it may not show me in my correct way. I may look different there. Or if the mic is faulty or the tonal quality is not good, it will definitely change from what I'm saying. So the perfect expression of divinity would not happen by unsurrendered people. Perfect expression of divinity happens only through surrendered mind. That's why surrender has been considered as the highest devotional virtue that any devotee can develop. And that happens because you have faith in that higher divinity. That it will not do anything, it will not say anything, it will not ask you for anything other than what is good for you and good for all. So that developing that faith continuously and leading to surrender is the way of devotion. Too much sir is no good. I keep telling, too much head is never good. And somebody told, but you only created, God only created the mind and thoughts, and so why God created? Should have created us in a surrendered way only so that we don't have to go through this. So this is the whole game of life, isn't it? This is about hide and seek. This is the game of life. God hides, you seek, you hide, then God seeks, like me going country to country. So this hide and seek goes on. Sun is there, clouds are there, suddenly it's raining, suddenly it's cloudy, suddenly sun is bright. The cloud also God created because of sun only. Yes, mind has been created by God. But it is capable of hiding God, if not disintegrated, if not destroyed. Like unless the cloud dissipates itself or finishes itself, it will not allow the sunlight to come through. Likewise, this mind comes in the way. Mind is basically representation of this. Head is basically mind. Now, head physically maybe this physical organ with the brain and all the nervous system, but that's not what we're talking about. That's only a mic, hardware. The software of it is mind, which is the one which is clouded, which has prejudices, which has preferences. That keeps coming. And when people say, oh, God should help me get rid of this my terrible mind and things like that, I always tell it's like you surrender the mind. You can't handle this, just give it to the expert. Give the mind to God, saying, take my mind and do what you want with it. He knows how to set it right. You don't try to set it right. It's not possible to control one's mind. Many people say how to control the mind, So don't try to control the mind. Just give it to God. Tell you take care of this mind because it's impossible for me to look after it. You are the best. So that is the best way of dealing with life. Just give it to God and say, you decide what you want to do with me and my life. Then everything falls into place. That is the whole idea of surrender. We have great examples of surrender, not only from past devotees of the earlier times. Even today I have seen so many. Girishji was asking me while driving, Do you see any difference between what we were and what we are today and things like that? I said, I think you had more hair earlier. So did I. But we pulled each other's hair over the last 10 years and this is what is left. No, I didn't say that. I told, yes, I do see a change in all of you. What you were 10 years ago, your idea of devotion was a lot of drama around it. That's what I told. Lot of noise and lot of paraphernalia and lot of other things were going on. The real core of it, which was surrender, was not happening. Because our mind was getting excited. Mind wants excitement, you see. So all this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnustanam, all this is mind. Till Dasyam also it is mind. Sakhyam onwards, heart kicks in. And then Atma Nivedan, you merge. So you are good. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnustanam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, all these was happening. But Atma Nivedanam was not happening. Now slowly you have shifted. And not just you, across the world I have seen the quality of devotees. And I think they have heard what I have been speaking, they have tried to practice it. And that's why I see the big difference between then and now. And that is what I really enjoy. See, a teacher's joy is when he sees students are able to learn and put it into practice. That is the joy of a teacher. And that is something that I enjoy when I'm traveling around the world. I meet devotees now. They're definitely more surrendered than what they were. They're able to accept the difficulties of life with equanimity. But this is something that devotion should teach us at the end. Devotion should not make us demand from God that please change the circumstances, make it easier and comfortable and convenient and favorable to me. That's not devotion. Devotion should ask God, give me the ability to remain equanimous and surrendered. Even whatever happens around doesn't matter. Then it is the one-stop solution to all the problems. Because problems will keep coming. God may solve a few problems now, some more we will create for ourselves. So then the whole time God's job will be only to keep solving the external problems. Instead, if you ask God, give me the ability to surrender to your will and the equanimity to accept everything with the same attitude of equanimity. Just that is enough for me. Bless me with that. Everything else that I am going through in my life, I'll be able to do it. I don't have to go on disturbing you anymore because I have learned how to surrender to the great idea of being devoted this way to God. That's why surrender is a great, great virtue. That Marjala Bhakti, I call it. Marjala Bhakti means like kittens surrender. And that is Markata Bhakti. This is monkey's Bhakti. Monkey babies are there. The mother monkey has to carry their baby all around. No, the mother monkey is not bothered. Baby has to hold on to the mother monkey for its own safety and transport. Whereas a kitten is the other way around. It is simply there. Mother cat comes and picks it up and takes it around wherever it needs to take. So either you become a monkey, you go on looking after yourself, or you become a cat like surrender. Between the two you choose. Marjara Nyaya is the best. Best is to be like kitten. Totally dependent on God. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything. You just sit and you hope that God makes your breakfast appear, makes your salary appear in the accounts. No, that won't happen. It means your thoughts, your actions should be inspired by that consciousness. What job am I doing? They should be inspired from within. That will help us to remain steady. When our students were saying, I taught them nobility and ability. That you should be able and noble instruments of God. A lot of people are very noble, but they're not capable. They can't do anything much for others. Many are very capable, but they're not noble. Their intentions are not good. So we need noble and able instruments. To this one girl who was studying like this, she finished her graduation. She was talking in front of me and then she said, Swami, please give us nobility, ability and stability. This was a new word she added to my dictionary of instructions. I said, very important word. Many are noble, sometimes able, sometimes both noble and able, but they're not stable. That nobility remains only for certain days of the year. So she said, give me stability. And that stability is surrender. That equanimity, that comes from surrender. It's a good thing that you asked this. And this is how every devotee should live. And life is a joy. It's like babies. I saw so many babies over there. You think they are bothered about their breakfast and dinners and lunches? Mothers are bothered. The baby is hungry, sleepy, needs to be fed, needs to be looked after. Is it safe? All that is mother's problem. Baby is not having any problem. Because That is the state of surrender. That's why all saints were childlike. They were completely innocent and childlike in front of God, because they had developed this kind of surrendered mindset. And doesn't matter to them whether they live in comfortable palaces or huts or whatever. They are always happy. I always wondered, the way our storytellers tell the story of sages and saints and devotees is what a terrible life they had. They had nothing to eat, nowhere to stay, and they had no social life and no status. But you ask them, are they unhappy about it or they're happy? They're happy. They're happy as they are. They don't want all these things to be happy. See, our idea of God's grace is, has God blessed me with enough finances, enough family, position, all these things. But these devotees were not bothered. Look at Mirabai. She was happy as she was. She was a queen too, but she wasn't happy because she couldn't show her devotion to Krishna. But once she had the freedom to express her devotions to Krishna, she was happier even though she was on the streets. She had no more status, no more respect, no more the security and comfort of being a queen. But she was happier. Tyagaraja was like that. He said, I will only sing for Rama, I won't sing for the king. Even though I am poor and king may give me gifts and whatever, I do not want that because that doesn't make me happy. Simply singing Rama's glory, being free makes me happy. So you cannot compare their happiness with any kind of happiness in the world. While a society like this may think happiness is some material comforts, of course, and if you are really devoted to God, then God should have looked after these things for you. If He is God and He's gracious to you. But our Indian definition of devotion and God's grace is totally different. Totally different. It's the inner joy of being in tune with God, of being surrendered to God, of being equanimous in all situations. That is our idea of God has blessed me. God has blessed me that I am remaining devoted to Him in all situations. I am equanimous and surrendered at all times. This is the blessing I have received. Not that you go into the temple, come out and say, oh, my next business deal got done and then that's why God is great. Not like that. That's a very lower idea of devotion, very transactional. Transaction is not devotion. That's some kind of a business. You give this, I get this. I give this, you get this. This kind of that is no devotion at all. Yes, God does all those things for us just like a parent does for children. But that's not the reason why we are devoted. Devotion should go to the next level now. At least be dasyam, to be servants of God. Begin there, your ego will come down. The next is sakhyam, become friend of God. You share everything with God. And the last is, of course, if you live like this for long enough, like magnets, they magnetize the piece of iron, you will also get divinized in the presence of divine all the time, and then you also will be always surrendered. No difference between us. Krishna says, Mayite, Teshu Chapyaham, I am them. He doesn't say, I am in them, I am around them, I am above them, below them. That time is over. I am them. This is what it happens. So that is how you should all try to develop that idea of devotion. Any other question, topic? Any other subject? No, good. About? Parents.
Feel so much connection. How to get this to, if you know what I mean, to get this like a channel with the mom, because my mom now is like, I feel it's like a wall for me. I talk to her.
Begin with gratitude. Feel gratitude in your heart for your parents, and that gratitude will turn into love. And that love can travel distances. It doesn't have to be physical. It can still make them feel very loved and comfortable wherever they are. But begin with gratitude in your heart. Gratitude for whatever they have done. They've brought you into this world and they deserve your gratitude for that. I tell, even if parents have not been very good parents, yet they have given you life. God chose them to bring you into this world. So they are special to you. For whatever has happened, even good, bad, ugly with them, you cannot afford not to have gratitude for them, right? So begin with that feeling of gratitude for your parents, and that feeling of gratitude will traverse all the distance. It will reach to them somehow. Because everything is energy. So any thought, any emotion is an energy. That energy will start changing the energy between you and them all the way. And even if you're not physically around, they'll feel the comfort of being loved and looked after. That's a very subtle way of still doing things for people whom you love, even if you can't be by their side. You feel that love in your heart. I stay in India most of the time. People stay as far away. I cannot be physically there with them. But they feel the love. How? Because you have, the love is so powerful, it transcends all the barriers of time, place and circumstances. Same thing we should do. But with parents, I think the relation should begin with gratitude only. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. No, I got it. Asking, though we always feel devoted, we feel connected, but there are times when anxiety takes over. What do we do then? Why does it happen? So as I said, stability. So we have the devotion, but is the devotion stable is the question. And second thing, unless you see, God is just reflection, reaction and resound. That we have heard any number of times. ఎంత మాత్రము ఎవరు తలచినా అంత మాత్రమే నీవు, says Annamacharya. What does he mean? You are just as much as I think of you. If I think of you that you are there for me, you are there for me. I'll experience your presence. If I have there are atheists, they don't believe in God. They don't experience all this love and niceties. The atheists feel that there's no God. So do they experience these emotions of love, devotion and Shravanam, Kirtanam? Nothing. This world doesn't exist for them. God doesn't exist for them. So they don't believe in God. Therefore, they don't experience any of these nice feelings that we experience. We are blessed that way. Similarly, those times when we don't experience devotion are the times when our mind has taken over and it is doubting the wisdom of God in our lives. That God knows what's going on and He knows why it is going on. And we have to realize as people who understand Sanatana Dharma that we are not just living this one life. We have brought our karmas from elsewhere. And they kind of at different points of time they flower, they fruit and they bring the results of it. So everything cannot be drawn in a linear scale that I did this so I am suffering that today. No, it is very different. So when I go through a situation now and then I feel all these anxiety, fear and things like that, I must remind myself, whatever it might be, I'm still under the care and protection of God. Even if there is a bumpy ride, I know that there is a driver in the car and he is driving, so I don't have to worry. He will somehow maneuver the car and take me to the destination. This reminder, constant reminder to oneself is very important. You have to train the mind. If it's not surrendered, it will create this confusion. If it's a surrendered mind, how does it matter? Meera was given a cup of poison, she said, give it to me. And she was okay with it. She knew it was poison. It was not that she didn't know. They were trying to punish her. They were trying to kill her. So she said, okay, if this is what is my fate, my destiny, let it be. But then God decided another way. She didn't start praying, oh, let this poison turn into a cup of pudding or something like that. She just said, whatever it is, I'll take it. Because my Krishna knows what is right for me. She drinks it. Nothing happens. It doesn't mean that every devotee who takes a cup of poison, the same thing will happen. You should have that surrender of Meera to make that poison turn into paisam. Not for everybody. So that stability is something that you have to remind yourself and read the stories of those surrendered devotees. It will inspire you. That people have gone through difficulties even though they were great devotees. But they came out of it because of their complete surrender and devotion. I must develop that kind of stable surrender. I will also come out of it. So mind is the only thing. See, any negative emotion comes from mind. Just remember that. Be it, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling insulted, I'm feeling embarrassed, I'm feeling whatever, let down, I'm feeling rejected, afraid. All these negativities are only from the mind. It can't be from the heart because the heart knows no negativity. It is like a bulb which knows no darkness. So heart knows no darkness, no negativity. Any negative emotion, the reason is mind. Call whatever, you say, no, I was right to them, but they were wrong to me. and I feel terrible and hurt about it. Whatever it is, it's the mind which is suffering or going through the emotions. So surrendered mind knows nothing of this sort. So that's why surrender again goes back to the right. And if it's you're still experiencing these means, still there is some distance to cover in devotion. Maybe you have come till Dasyam. Maybe some Sakhyam, Atmin, Nivedanam is yet to happen, which is fine. You know that it will also happen. You have come this far. So you will cover the rest of the distance. Pray to God. Remind yourself of the care that God is always there with us. And read the stories of great devotees who also have gone through a lot. Yet they have never questioned, they were doubted, nor they got afraid of what's going on. But it's not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy. I was writing the third book of the story divine. I was trying to bring it out before Guru Purnima, because that will give you the perspective of this part, that how easy or how difficult is surrender. How many times the mind will play tricks and come in your way. And even if you think that, you just think that, oh, you learned surrender and now you are good to go, and you will see that again there will be a situation which will test your resolve in devotion. It will do it to you again and again and again till it has tested and tried you in all possible ways, and then nothing else is left. Only then the doors open. This story, or this what you call dark night of the soul, as they say, every soul has to go through. There is no exceptions. There is no shortcuts to surrender. You have to go through the rigmarole of ups and downs and faiths and doubts and all that. And ultimately you will achieve. But stay put. Don't give up. That's the idea. One more. I'll take one more question. Okay. Yes. About Easter. Yeah, I will be happy to talk about it. So she's saying that Good Friday is coming, and then there is Easter. And Easter is significant for us for many reasons. Of course, it's the significant day. We celebrate the coming back of Jesus Christ. But at the same time, we also know on such an Easter day, the physical form of Bhagavan left us. That is, again, as I said, the physical, material, 5-element form of Bhagavan only left us. The spirit remains. So the idea of Easter is definitely the idea of this understanding that we are spirit, which is indestructible, and not the body that gets destroyed. And nobody can live. How much ever you may try, you may extend your lifespan by 1,000 years or 2,000 years or 10,000 like sages. At the end, you must get destroyed. The body must get destroyed, but the spirit remains. So I think the eternity of spirit is what Easter stands for. The E of Easter is E of eternity. It's not ephemerality. It is the eternity of soul that Easter represents, and that is what we must remind ourselves. And about Jesus, yes, of course. See, Jesus, while he, so to say, passed away, or whatever, after crucifixion and things like that, but his disciples did experience his presence thereafter. And while there are stories, you can question the validity of it, whether people saw him in the physical or they saw him in the subtle, or they had a vision of Jesus, or was it physically. So after physically he met them, what happened next? Where is Jesus' body? These questions can go on. But the idea of the celebration should be that we are that eternal spirit and we are one. That way we are all one. And that doesn't die, that doesn't get destroyed. Once you develop that tremendous faith, there's no fear. Because all fear comes from the idea of losing something. But in spirit, nothing can be lost. It's Purnamadam Purnamidam. It's complete, it's perfect by itself. So the idea of fear and all things that follow fear, they disappear. There's no fear at all. And it's all because you understand your spirit, selfishness also disappears. Because anyway, all these things are going to go away sooner or later. Only this idea of the truth that I am the divine spirit remains. So if you develop that tremendous faith in that idea, all the fear disappears. All the fear disappears. What will happen? What about my name, my position, my family, my future, my retirement? All these ideas disappear. And you start living more and more in the present and not in the future and the past. So that's why this is important. And from our point of view, How to celebrate Easter? I always say, celebrate the spirit of Easter, which is that Bhagavan is eternal. This transitional life, every avatar gets it. Even Rama, Krishna, or Jesus, or Buddha, everybody had to go through what they had to go through and finally exit physical plane. So, but I always tell, let us not sit and lament or cry or feel the loss. Rather celebrate that such a thing as this happened to us, the lucky few in this world. We have seen, known, and been with the avatar. We have learned, we have been blessed, we have been graced by the avatar. Now what is that we have got to do is, I ask the question. We got everything, now what is that we can give? Of course we can give all the love, but whom to love now? Love a photo? Or love a statue? Or love him in all? So tell people that the way to celebrate Easter, especially for Sai devotees, is to see that presence of that same eternal spirit in all. Again, don't give it a name, shape, form, attributes and try to put it in a box. Don't do that again. Then we again are doing it all wrong. We call it spirit, nameless, formless, attributeless, but then put it in a photo, put it in a form, put it in a statue. Yes, from worldly point of view it is important, but from deep within we should know the eternity of the spirit. And that is something that I am very particular about. That's why so much emphasis on Advaita, so much of emphasis on non-dualism. That is what we are going on teaching everybody. But mind is mind. It wants to celebrate, it wants a photo, it wants a statue, it wants something to associate itself with. And every time you destroy it, it wants another one. If you get rid of one form, it wants another one to replace it. That's the way of the mind. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was very, he was very devoted to Mother Kali. He was an incarnation himself. But all avatars play their role in the world. So he had to play his role of being a great devotee and teach the devotion to others. So one Totapuri was an Advaitic saint. He was all about Jnana Marga, no Bhakti Marga. That we are all the same spirit, so why should I worship another man or woman or idol or photo? Is not required. So he wanted to teach this Advaita to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and he came and told, Ramakrishna was a young man, so he called him and told, I have done this 40 years of Advaita sadhana and I am a great yogi and I will teach you how to stay in that samadhi sthiti, means in that transcendental state. You don't have to worry about forms and names. He said, I will have to go and ask the mother whether I am permitted to learn something like this. And then he went and asked the so-called the statue of Mother Kali. She said, go ahead, it's good for you. So he went back and said, okay, I will learn this from you. And then he told, see, you have to do this, you have to do that, take all the energy, focus it in the middle of your brow and things like that. And as he was doing, he said, now what do you experience? He said, I see Mother. He said, no, that's not supposed to happen. This is Advaita, there are no two. You shouldn't see Mother and others. So he said, but I see her all the time. What should I do? And he said, do one thing. You create a sword in your thought, a sword, and cut that mother's image into two. Destroy it. Don't have it. Because Advaita won't happen. So Ramakrishna said, where do I get the sword? From the same mind which brings mother, bring the sword also. So then he told and meditated, and he actually did that, as the master said. And he got rid of all the forms and names and immediately slipped into samadhi. And I believe he stayed for 3 days in that state. So much so that the patron of the temple, the queen, Rani Rasmani, she got to know about this and she got very worried because she had special affection for this young man, Ramakrishna. And she sent her emissaries to get him out of that state of samadhi. And this man, the master, so to say, 40 years of sadhana, he was stunned. He said, I never seen somebody attain this state so quickly, easily. I worked so hard and then I got here, and he got it just like that. So what is special about it? So when he comes out of samadhi, he goes to the mother and tells this is what has happened. And she says that every path ultimately takes you to the same goal. Devotion with this Atmanivedan, what I mentioned, surrender, will take you to Advaita Sthiti only. Because there are no two. Ahamte teshu, I am them, they are me, there are no two. If I say I am in their heart, then we are two. Or they are in my heart, then we are two. But I am them and they are me. There is no two in bhakti also. At the end, result is same. So then this master, Advaita master, also realizes that as long as you are very clear and you are aware that the deeper truth is that spirit, form is a container, the content is the spirit, then you will never get confused. You worship Mother, you worship Baba, you worship Jesus, you worship Buddha, but with this complete awareness that they are that eternal spirit which never gets destroyed, then it doesn't matter which glass you drink from, which tumbler you drink from, is the water that matters. So this is what will ultimately go. This is the Easter's real celebration, to celebrate the content, not the containers. Most of the time we get stuck there. The children fight like this. I want to drink in that color, like the cups are there. I want the red cup only, I will not take the blue cup. They fight like that. Have you seen that? Have you fought like that when you were children? I will eat only in this plate. I will wear only this colored shirt or whatever gown. This is what happens in religions also, when people fight over containers and they forget the content of it. And then we are having all these wars. Even now it's going on, unfortunately. With one joke I'll end. There was a religious conference. So all great religious leaders were called and they all discussed. And discussion was, there is only one God. So they, after intense discussions, they came to a conclusion that there is only one God. So everybody was happy. The organizer was very satisfied that we concluded, and everybody is going home happily. But just when they were about to conclude the conference, they broke into a fight again. And then the organizer asked, what happened? We just concluded there is only one God. He said, yes, we conclude there is one God, but which is that one God? On that now they are debating. So this is the issue with content conflict. So Easter is about content. What is the content is the divine spirit. Container was Jesus at some point in time, Buddha another time. You and me are also containers only. Nothing different. So this is what we should celebrate Easter when we celebrate that way. That's what I tell. And if you want to really call yourself devotees, then do some good in the name of your Bhagavan. Do some good to people, because that is this message, love, service. So that's what you should do, is what we should celebrate Easter. Generally, okay, Easter is one way, but on 24th April, I'm generally in Fiji. And I tell the same thing again and again. Let a life of an avatar not be wasted, not go waste, because we didn't become God at the end of it. Then we have only achieved partially, not completely, the goal that we were given. So let us try and achieve that, be God, do God. That is the message of Easter, and that's the message of all time. I am very happy to be here. As again I said, I could speak more because I didn't have a translation happening. Otherwise it's like, if I speak for 20 minutes, 20 more minutes are going into the translation. So that is the good thing about being in UK. Of course I can't speak the accent that you speak, and I hope my English is okay for you to understand. And now that the Queen is not around, I'm far more comfortable speaking. I will come next year again on a very quick trip, mostly to invite all of you for the 100th birthday celebrations. We are planning a very, naturally a very grand and large-scale event with almost so many 100 and odd countries participating in some way or the other. And I told that 100 days countdown begins to November 23rd, 2025, and every country will get one day to represent whatever work they're doing in their own countries as an offering. And for those 100 days there will be some events. Bhuvana is the boss, and so please follow our instructions. Surrender to Bhuvana, basically. And I've given her a big event in charge, because I want to really all religious leaders, everybody to hear the message of love and service. It should resonate across the world. And ultimately the whole world should feel like one family. And that should happen, is what we are trying. So please do in your own countries, in the whole of Europe. I know many people are from different countries. Keep doing some service activities, and that would also get showcased during that 100-day service festival, where everybody will be able to get a chance to represent. Some representative may come to India that time. Some can be online, like how it is being done. So every day will be one country celebrating that 100th birthday, and everybody will participate. So please be ready and try to do a lot more good between now and next year, so that we have something nice to present. And each one of you should do. It's not just that one organization does and we just sit behind. No, everybody in their own way, please do something. You need not do big projects or big seva, not asking that. But in your own way, if you have, some in your neighborhood, in your community, in your office, school, wherever, something you do, each one of you, as a 100th birthday offering. So that's the other thing that I wanted to ask you about. So all right, so we will close it here. You please have a good evening, and then Probably I'll see you in India, some of you, when you travel for Guru Purnima and other celebrations. Otherwise, I'll come next year again around this time, between this time, March and April, and see you again. Very happy. Lot of blessings and best wishes to all of you.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीधरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदेव मरियंतयुनीवे स्वामी मरियंतयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जय सद्गुरु